All right. So what'd you do this weekend?
I got top 32 with Janemba Meal. This is sort of my pet deck. I've been playing it for a while now. It just seems to keep getting better and better with every ban list. Yeah, I've pretty much been playing it since September, just doing my thing. There's not really any particular blue deck that's dominating right now, and I love to play blue, so I'm kind of just leaned hard into Mill on this. You got Janemba Mill, everybody knows what this does. You swing, draw one, mill two, you awaken, untap two, and then it does the same thing on the backside, but you get access to a free negate just by pitching any blue card. And it's not a counter, it's an auto, so that actually does come in handy, especially if you're playing yellow, because you get to play around cooler. I'll leave that out of the way. We'll start out with my deck techs. I did Kami Global Unifier. This is just a really good card. Blue is really lacking removal, like hard removal. And Janemba's even more so lacking because I can't play anything above a 4 cost. So this is really good at clearing boards. And if nothing else, it's a cantrip. And it also pairs well with my SER if I want to use that later on. I'll explain how that works later. It's just really good. It's really good at removing barrier threats too. That's important. GT, it was really good against that matchup. I play Protector of the People. This is a negate and a super beam. You negate, and at the cost of pitching a card, you get a 5K for every battle swing that they swing at you. This is really good against decks that like to go wide or super aggressive decks, and it helps you survive. And that's essentially all you want to do with Janemba Mill, because the longer you live, the more chances you have of milling them out. This is my SER of choice. I do play mono blue, but a lot of people don't know that this card works on either player's side of the field. They're always taken aback by that. So most of the time, this is a guaranteed warp 2 plus 10K, because you're going to be playing your deck, which is a blue, and then whatever color you're playing. And then even if you're playing a blue match, most of the time they're playing blue-yellow, so you're still going to get that. And then if you do like big brain plays over here like I have before, you can like play this, draw one, and then you can potentially warp 3 because you got a black card on the field. I've done that several times.
Yeah, just for you cell players, because I learned this the hard way. They will hit both of your 4 drops. So
I will do that. Bardock is the only unison that I run. It just helps me draw into more of my deck. I get more negates. Just dig into anything I can, and it also helps me pitch this next card that I'm about to play and help me draw more. It's really good for just drawing in deck thinning.
This man has overrun, by the way.
And starting to go into my combos, I play 3 of this. It's just really good 5K defensive. You get to combo out of a 10K or 15K depending on whether you're awakened or not. And then you can just draw 2 by tapping 2. It's really good on your awaken turn. You can just tap 2, draw 2, awaken, flip, untap 2, swing, draw. Just really good at refilling your hand and drawing in those negates and pseudo combos. Speaking of pseudo combos, I run 4 of this. And all this really does is, that's important in this deck anyways, you combo with it, it's a 10K pump, and you draw a card. So you're always refilling your hand when you out combo this stuff. Same thing with this. It's the only thing that's important is a 10K puff and a 10K buff, and it draws a card.
So why'd you go with like a 6 numbers?
On these?
Yeah.
Essentially deck space. I'm already at 52. I didn't really want to go above 52. I used to try to keep it at 50, but this deck draws so much now because of the pseudo combos that you have to run more than 50 cards. You actually run the risk of decking yourself out. There's been several times I've been at 3 or 4 cards.
Jesus.
Yeah, it happened against U7. Believe it or not, like when I won, I was at 4 cards in deck. So yeah.
Oh man.
He thought he was going to deck me out. That was funny. That was my last matchup of the day. I played 4 of these, which is also the same as these, but it's on color, it's blue. It's a 10K buff. You draw a card, but it also has the added ability of a 2-drop or less. You get to bottom deck it, which is really good against, like, it's not as important now because Gogeta Xeno got hit so hard, but the true fighting spirits, they were really annoying because they punish you, and you can bottom deck those and then get to use your beans and your negates without having to worry about being punished. You can also use this against stuff like U7 to bottom deck their big cards that are more than the energy that they have. You can do it against Sin Shenron too, but I didn't play any of those this weekend. I did at Tennessee though, and that came up. So that's really good for that. It's really good for removal, really good for defense, draw a card. More pseudo combos. This doesn't draw a card, but it's a 1-card 15K. As you can tell, there's a theme in this deck. It's really hard to out combo this deck. Like I dare say that you really have to put an immense amount of pressure on me to take damage unless I just want to take that damage, because there's just such immense combo power. And everything replaces itself, so I'm never losing cards doing that. Speaking of more combos, I play 4 beans. It's a 5K pump. It's a good card. It's broken. It's been broken since set 1.
Absolutely.
Bean does bean things. I play 4 of this super combo. It's just a bottom deck draw 2. It's just deck thinnings, deck winning. Some people ask me why I don't play Zeno. I've never really felt the need to play Zeno.
This card probably keeps you more alive than Zeno does.
I would rather see the cards. Yeah, I would just rather see the cards. I don't really like, as you notice, the theme in this deck is can tripping. I would rather not neg if I don't have to.
Fair enough.
As far as negates, we got set 1 Whis. This is basically D-Magic, but with like not as good. It still keeps an energy open though, which is important when you got those super combo or pseudo combos because you want to use those to combo with. So not using the energy to negate is really good. D-Magic is the same way. You can actually gain an energy if you decide to sparking. I actually don't sparking too much because usually I'm not at very many cards in the drop by the time I get to 4 life, and I really don't like going below 4 life, especially against like decks like U7. I don't want to go below 4 life on them because they're just going to play the SCR and burn me to 2. So if they're going to play their SCR, I'd rather them just burn me to 3. So I usually just keep energy open, and this untaps an extra energy. This card is really good, this format. I probably started this. I have this in my side deck too. I probably played this card the most this weekend and felt fulfilled by it anyway. Against U7, you stop their 8 drop, so they don't swing at you and rip cards. I played GT. I'll get into my matchups later, but I played GT as well. This stops is it an 8 drop that they go into?
I think it's an 8 drop.
Yeah, it's an 8 drop. This stops them from swinging 3 times with it. You can play this against Cell Zeno, so that way they can rip 3 cards, you still draw a card, and they can't swing at you twice with a big quadruple strike. It's really good. This come up so much this weekend. And that's as far as my negate package. Here's my mill package. I play 4 of this Unison. This Unison's really good. You pay 2, I draw 1, so it replaces itself. Your opponent draws 1 and mills 1. And for whatever reason, a lot of people don't try to kill this Unison, even though it's really easy to kill. It only ever stays at 2 markers. They always just want to swing face. And you already get plenty of advantage out of this card if it sticks that 1 turn, but if it just sticks 2 or 3 more turns, you're just plussing and steadily milling them out. And usually by the time they start swinging at it, it's too late. They've done milled 6 cards.
Right. So, they've done drew/milled 6 cards. So
right.
The card has done so much to your opponent and plus for you.
Exactly. It's so good. This is the best Unison in the deck, I would say. And it's uninteractable. You win so many games off this, not having to worry about charismatic villain or what's the blue one? My mind just went blank. Trunks. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it getting hit. Like, this is not getting touched. If you're going for game and you have these, they're just drawing cards. They're just going to deck themselves out. This is also, I run 4 of this one. This is really good because it has deflect. You have to be careful against the green decks, which I probably played the most of this weekend because it does not have barrier. So they can do it. So a lot of times I'll play this and just bait. I'll have 2 in hand. I'll play this, especially if I'm going for game through a mill out. I'll play this and they'll charismatic it because you won't get its auto. It's in phase auto to mill 2, but it's gone. So I'll just play the second one and then they can't charismatic again. So they go ahead and mill. This is probably my most sided out card. It's really good, but I played mostly green today. So it doesn't have deflect and it doesn't have barrier and you're paying 4 for it to get charismatic. So I'm not doing that. But it did win me 2 games, so I would definitely keep it in the deck. And this was a best of 1 pre-side, so it was really easy to decide this out when I needed to. And then my last Unison, it doesn't really help with anything other than it's just really good. It's a double striker, so you get to pressure Unisons, mainly the Gogeta one that Cell players run. You draw 1, you untap 1. It's a blocker, and if push comes to shove, you can use this neg 1, the counterattack, to bottom deck a card. I don't like using that unless I have to, because I don't like putting cards on the bottom of my opponent's deck. Because I'm trying to mill them out. But sometimes you just have to. You just have to get rid of that pesky card. So it's really good. I've considered taking this out here recently. It has not been doing as good as it used to do, which is insane because this card's actually broken in blue. But I don't know, it's kind of lost a little bit of value to me in Janemba. As far as for my side deck, I played 1 extra Kami. This is good for the decks that go wide, and you can get to do a removal on that. Like GT, this is really good against GT. I played against one of those. Yellow, I didn't play any yellow, but I was really worried I was going to see like Trunks Gita, and they were going to like side deck into their slug engine or something. And I really want to be I really need a way to get rid of that slug because you saw how much I draw off this deck. If they put that out, it's over with. Put this right I played 2 max powers. This is just really good at getting rid of big threats. You get rid of the big 8-drop in U7. You get rid of Sin Shenrons. You get rid of a lot of stuff with this, and it's just really good. Mainly those 2.
I'm curious, did you side against your GT matchup?
I did not side it against my GT matchup. I did not.
I think the 8 still goes underneath the unison.
Yeah, they dodge it.
So
Yeah, it dodges it. Yeah, what they'll do is they'll play the 8-drops
and then put it
3 times,
underneath
tuck it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, that's the reason why I didn't do that. I played 2 Jiren. I didn't have to side that at all this weekend. Blue just wasn't very popular this weekend. But I'm going to run this because if I play against blue, I was expecting SS4 Vegeta to be the primary blue deck this weekend, and they do lean heavily into Android 17. And I just don't want to be caught with my pants down because if they Android 17 me and put everything from my hand back in my deck, I lose. So I always side this in against blue. Unless I'm playing Android 16 because they can't run 17, so I'm not really worried about that. I played 2 Meki Kabura. I only sided this in against Sail because I did not want them playing the 7-drop Perfect Force Sail on turn 5. I hate that card. I've hated that card since set 2.
That's pretty funny.
Stupid card.
It's an old nightmare reoccurring.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that deck being good again.
That's all right. It's turn 5.
I played 3 Deborah. This was my most sided in card because I played 4 hand control decks. Like I said, I'll get into my matchups after this, but I'll go ahead and let you know that I played 4 hand control decks.
Did you usually swap those out for the Janembas that you're talking about?
I did. I would swap those out for these almost every time I played a hand control because all the hand control decks are able to play either. If it's Android 16, they got access to Trunks, which can hit that Janemba. And if they're playing green, they're playing Charismatic, which can also hit that Janemba. So it gives me no value.
Right.
So these help with that. My extra Dirty Burst, I've sided this in as much as I sided the Deborah in. It's so good. It was good against GT. It's good against Universe 7. It's good against Cell. I really like this card.
Would you bump it up to 4?
No, I think 3 is plenty. I wouldn't bump it up to 4 because it is a 2 cost.
Yeah.
You still have to pay 2 for it.
Plus, you already say you draw like a ton. So
I do. I draw a ton, and this card draws a card. At one point in time, I had 3 of these against the GT player. I had 3 of these and my SCR. So I SCR'd it the first time, and then he was still able to get another one out. And for the next 3 consecutive turns, I just played this every time he'd play his 8-drop, and he was never able to swing with it. He got a little frustrated over that.
Jesus.
I played these. These used to be main deck. I took them out because this card has lost value to me in my deck. I only sided in once, but it did win me the game. I sided against Cooler, and they have that Frieza triple striker. That's
talking about the green cooler?
Yes, the green cooler.
Okay.
Yes. And it has the Frieza that's a triple striker, dual attack. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to negate it and then have a way to block it because that card's actually insane. I think it's a 30k. So much pressure. And then I sided in 2 of these. Just because it's an excellent unison, but I think this can be something else. I never sided this in any that day. Like I felt like 2 was plenty every time, so this could honestly be taken out and be something else. I'm not sure what yet though, but this could definitely be that. As far as matchups go, I went X2. I went 5-2. I played first round. I played Universe 7. I beat it. He kind of leaned into milling himself, so it was a lot easier than the other U7 I would play later on. The round 2, I played Android 16. I beat it. I sided into the boards against it. That was the only thing I sided. Round 3, I played Cell. Cell was the only deck I lost to all day. I really believe if I hadn't seen Cell at all, that I would have went undefeated. Like every other deck just seemed really easy, except for the Cooler deck. It put up kind of a fight. I played Cell. Then I played Cooler. Cooler was a tough matchup though. I don't think it's a tough matchup for Janemba. But I sided in my Deborahs and did not see a single one of them until like turn 5. So he was ripping my hand apart, and he leaned really heavy into hand control. He was running Ribrians. What's the other one that you play 3-4? Rosie.
Rosie. Yeah.
He played it. He leaned really heavy into that, and I didn't see apes or Deborahs at all. Let's see. I played Cooler. Then I played GT. Then I played Cell again. Lost to Cell, and then I played U7 and beat U7. So that was my matchups. I only lost 2 sales.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. You got any shout-outs you want to give today?
Yeah. I would like to shout out my team, Team Magnolia. I'm always testing with them. I would like to shout out the Janemba group because, I don't know, we all just kind of support one another like a bunch of degenerates.
For sure.
Just shout out everybody that helped me play test. Shout out my buddy Aaron Barton. He's the one on the camera right now. He got 4th place. He done excellent. He went 6-1. And just shout out everyone that's helped me along the way and tested with me, and the people that held the event. It was A-Kon in Dallas, Texas. It was a very smooth event, very fun. Everything was well. It was a lot better than the last time I was in Texas. I really enjoyed it. I believe that's all for my shout outs.
All right. Well, appreciate it.